All right, my patrons, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My brothers and sisters, this is Pastor Dowell. We're watching some significant changes as well as revelation take place during this dead season, just like I told you it would. And every dead season has its own challenges and it presents its own ways. I'm watching, like I warned people, I told them over and over again, almost every single tabernacles, every single Feast of Tabernacles, I usually give the same exact warning and say the same exact thing over and over again. The problem with Israel as a whole today is that the people have their priorities backwards. They're not focused on the Most High Yah first and foremost. He has to be the focus, the center of attention. And that's what's not happening. What's happening is that many people are following after their own lust, literally following, because the book teaches us to love not the world, neither the things that are in the world, because all that is in the world is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. And when those things in the world are your center of attention and focus, the Most High ends up on the back burner. And he can't be on the back burner, especially for men of Yah. In no way, shape, fashion, form, he cannot be. And this is the problem that we run into today. And this is the reason why a lot of people fall away during the dead season. I mean, because after all, you think about it, we have pretty much from October, let's just go November, December, January, February, March, sometime between March and April, we have about 6 months to not only get our affairs in order in our lives, to keep ourselves in tune with the Most High Yah by continually immersing ourselves spiritually with the Ruach. But we have an opportunity to even set aside the time. We can even, the calendar is up on the website that Brother Steve and them had posted. It's there on the website. And if you want a copy of it, we can make that happen too as well. But, when you come to think about it, that's one good thing about being on the community, because we're around each other all the time. So therefore, we encourage each other all the time. We around saints every single day. So we don't have some of the challenges that other people face. Yet, to us, all of us that live on communities and set apart, all of us will say that it's a hell of a lot easier living out there than it is here. Meaning, it's a hell of a lot easier living out there in the world than it is on the community. But yet, and still, you can't trade the piece of it. So we're watching a lot of people's treasure being revealed. We're watching their heart being revealed right before our very eyes. And most people's treasure is whatever their center of attention and focus is. Some people, it's men, women. Some people's treasure, women, are men. And then some men treasure are women. And then other people's treasure is money. The other people's treasure is our will, our way, the way we want to do things. But the book teaches us to seek ye first the kingdom of Yah and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And there seems to be a lot of distractions that no matter how much preaching and teaching goes forward, no matter how much we teach, no matter how much we show an example of the people, we're watching people fall off like flies. And I'm going to tell you right now, the only reason why people fall off like flies from the faith is because of one thing and one thing alone. And that is because they have gotten out of tune with the Most High Yah. And of course, we also live in a generation where people are prideful and they don't want to be corrected. They don't want to be instructed, and they don't want to fall under any leadership. It's amazing, though. Every single thing we do in this world, you're going to fall up under some type of an authority. But when it comes to the faith, nobody wants to be under some type of authority. It's utterly amazing to me. All right, so let's go on here just for a second. And let's see what the book says about people who are against your soul. I mean, because after all, we see that continually, all the time. You never, hardly ever see Straightway actually going out here, going after ministries or going after people. And I'm going to tell you the reason why we don't do that. The reason why we don't do that is because whether it be in pretense or assumption or whatever, as long as the name of Jesus is being mentioned, there's an opportunity for someone to be pulled out of Satan's world, the kingdom of darkness, and have the potential to come into Yahshua's kingdom, marvelous light. And then not only that, once they get their foot in the door, to be able to grow, and even more so. Because the one thing that the Most High Yah did promise us all is that he would lead us and that he would guide us into all truth. And those who have the spirit of truth, they are being led and they are being guided. But make no mistake about it, if you're over here in Straightway, in the ministry of Straightway, we have accountability. We have an order. There's a chain of command. There are ways we're going about doing things. Let me give you an example, okay, before I continue on in this thought right here about those who oppose us, especially those from without. But the structure of the community, all right, I'll give you an example. All right, not only am I the head of the community, I am the head of the whole entire Straightway Ministries. All right, that's because I did not build this work on another man's work or the other man's back. I've done exactly what the Father said, and he said that he would bring all of those to me who are faithful to him. So I really truly take that to heart when he says he's going to bring those who are faithful to him to me. All right. And then we just follow the simple order and structure that's laid out there in the Bible. So we have pastors, we have elders, we have preachers, we have teachers, we have deacons. We've got them. We've got them literally here in the ministry, faithful men who love Yah. And with that, so even though that I'm the head of this ministry and the head of the communities, Yah has placed elders and heads of home fellowship in each one of those areas. And they'll ask me for advice, and I'll give it to them. They ask me for direction, I'll give it to them. Most time I speak in suggestive terms. And I usually, if I'm saying giving you a suggestion, I'm usually basically telling you what you should do in this particular area. But I don't micromanage any one of them because these are men of understanding. If they need greater understanding, then they know where to come. They'll come to me. And so here at Straightway, I'm pretty much the leader. All right. Now, with that, I have my household. And let's go on the woman side. Okay. On the woman side, in this particular ministry here at Straightway, we have Mother Carol that's pretty much over the sisters. And then from that point on, as the chain of command and order would go, it's Mama Nellie and Sister Summer. Why? Because they're in my house. It's the same way with Kabir. When I went to Wisconsin, I said, once you get married to Bree, you give her a little time, a maturation for her to be able to get everything down and to comprehend the way things should try to run. Because Sister Evelyn was there from the beginning, and she ran that whole entire thing by herself for a long time as one sister and did a fabulous job. But I told Kabir, I said, once Bree becomes your wife, give her a little time of maturation, you'll know, and then you can move her into the position of authority over all those sisters simply because of her position as your wife. Same thing with mine. So I have Mother Carol, Mama Nellie, and Summer. They are the head of all the sisters in the ministry, be it here Straightway, and they are the go-to people if sisters in the ministry, especially if they have sisters who are married to heads of home fellowship like elders or brothers. Those are the three that you come to for information and knowledge. Now, we have sisters that have a radio broadcast, like Sister Ashley and Sister Jennifer. Okay? Sister Jennifer is the head of all the women down there in Straightway, Georgia. And then immediately right there with her is Sandra, period, point blank. So even here, and of course I know even now, there's a lot of changes coming in the ministry of Straightway because there's a lot of things I simply do not like the way they have been going. So therefore I'm going to stick my nose into things and make changes myself. And when I make changes, you're going to see a great improvement. not only going to see a great improvement, you're going to see the hand of the Most High Yah, and there's going to be a removement of all this confusion. But make no mistake about it. And because, just of the simple fact, it's like when I was in the military. All right, I came in as a private. I end up leaving as a staff sergeant. But a lieutenant could go to OCS, get commissioned, and only been in the Army 6 months. And I've been in there 9 years, right? 6 months. And he would automatically come in and outrank me because they have a position. So whether you believe people are not worthy of a position or not is totally irrelevant. They are there in a position. It's kind of like when you had a worker, let's just use a restaurant or any retail environment. You have workers that's been there, working there for maybe 5, 10, 15 years. And all of a sudden you come in and you hadn't even been managing 2 weeks. Now all of a sudden you're the authority over them. Amazing, isn't it? How it works. Well, it works the same way in the kingdom. So the go-to people are the Ashais in my family, Mother Carol, Mama Nellie, and Sister Summer. And I'm going to make sure that I implement that even more so in every aspect of this community. Because I'm actually working on all of them to get them to do exactly the way I want this community to run, because I know how to run a successful community. But those are your go-to sisters from the very beginning that you should be actually seeking out counsel from. Now, I understand that most people don't understand and comprehend fraternization. And we'll cover that in another video because most of you do not understand structure and command. Just like, for instance, you talk to Brother Kabir. You talk to Brother Rob Matthews. You talk to Daniel. I talk to these people who have been in these particular areas. And you talk to them, they'll tell you, see, they were players. And then they had coaches. And players love to be coached. Now, let me put it this way. Successful players love to be coached. The rest of them are rebellious, stubborn, stiff-necked, think they got all the answers and all the ideas and everything, and they never, ever make it successfully in the NFL because they don't want to obey the coaches. Because then they'll be accused of, well, you're a company boy, or you're a franchise boy, or something like that. But look what happens. They end up making all the money, too, because they successfully obeyed the coaches. Now, to the coaches, they're doing a job. It has nothing to do about me outranking you. It has nothing to do about you being a better man and I better man than you, because successful players actually make more money than the coaches. All right? Same way when I worked on the uniform route. I made more money than my supervisors, but yet they were the supervisors. So if I could say it like this, all players don't become good coaches, and all players are not good coaches. There are some players that can successfully transition and become good coaches. Now, if I use it in military terms, people who work in command, it would be the brass, they have a particular job that they actually do. But operators are totally different than people that work in command. Am I making any sense? And all operators are not suited and fit for command because the majority of operators don't want to be in command. They want to do their job. They want to operate. Okay? I hope I'm making sense. So, same way with this. All right? In the ministries of Straightway, you have myself as the leader here on the community. And then you have in my household, my Ashais, and all three of them are the head of all the sisters, or let's say the leader of the sisters, not the head, but the leaders of all the sisters. And that's who you should be going to for wisdom, because why? They are around me constantly. They know my mind. They know the will of the ministry. And they know the direction that I want to go. Period, point blank. So we'll leave it at that for right now. We'll cover it later on. But let's get on with this last point I wanted to cover here. It says, accept no person against thy soul. And I'm in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 22. And let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fail. Well, when I see all these people out here, especially brand new people who I don't even know, and of course you see that almost every single month, there's somebody coming out against PastorDowell. Somebody coming out against PastorDowell. What in the world is going on? Amazing, isn't it? And if they come out, especially dishonorable, disrespectful, a false witness, a liar, I'm not going to give them place. I'm not going to, because they didn't come tactfully. They didn't come honorably. and you're going to automatically take the position that I'm wrong, and then you're going to attack my character, impugn my character, and expect for me to honor you, I'd be a fool to do something like that. I'm following actually the script that says, accept no person against your soul. And you heard it the last little so-called interview that they wanted Elder Rufus to call in. I've never, ever, never in all my life seen such an incoherent conversation in all my life. It's like schizophrenia, undiagnosed, is running at an unprecedented level and on a scale that is literally off the chain nowadays. It just simply does not make sense. But the book teaches you that you're going to have enemies. Now, the enemies that it tells you when you read the Renewed Covenant tell you to do good to those of your brothers and sisters in the household of faith that you hoping that they wouldn't be your enemies, but some of them end up being in the faith. Not just because somebody say that they're Israel, don't mean that they're Israel. And you can tell just by the people's attitude, their character, their nature, and the way that they respond and they react. That's how you can tell that. All right, now let's go back to the chain of command. So now you know the reason why why I do not entertain a lot of these wicked people out there in this world. Because first of all, they're not even worthy of my time. I don't have time for them. It's just nonsensical. All it is are distractors and people who are troublers of Israel. Now, next would be following chain of command. If you have elders and then you have their wives. All right, you have elders, then you have their wives. Their wives will automatically, elders or deacons, their wives will automatically be the support base for the pastor wives. It's like in Kansas City. Sister Gabby is the leader of the women out there in Kansas City. The whole of the ministry out there in Kansas City. And then you have Deacon Miguel's wife that would actually be the next behind her or her support. Period, point blank. That's just the way that it runs. Why? Simply by virtue of position and place. It's totally irrelevant what you think or believe that you think you should do and where you should be or whatever it is. No. And that's probably one thing that I've let slip over the years. You know, I figured that, people can figure out things because men don't really truly get too much in women's business and stuff like that concerning the running of communities. But I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to have to actually get involved more so because I'm seeing things slip just entirely too much. And I don't like it. So there's going to be a restructuring going on all throughout the whole of the dang ministry. I'm going to change titles. Not titles, I can't do that. I'm going to change positions and places. And I'm going to put people who are serious-minded and people who are strong in positions of leadership so that we as a people will have confidence in our leaders and know exactly where we're going and how we're going to get there. But anyway, I hope I said something to stimulate thought. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I realized that I had like 2 or 3 digressions in here. If you couldn't follow exactly what I said, go back and watch this video again. And I hope that it's for your edification, your exhortation, and your comfort. Y'all be encouraged. The King is coming.